Hello and welcome to The Public Good. This is Sam Magavern from the Partnership for the Public Good, or PPG, which unites over 280 community organizations working to build a better Buffalo. Delighted to join you every Tuesday at 1 p.m. on Facebook Live, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Power 96.5 FM and Mix 1080 AM. Today we'll be joined by Open Buffalo Democracy Fellow Bernadette Giles. She'll be talking about her work in creating Inner Star, a women's professional style development center that is going to begin work very soon. We'll be learning all about that and how you can get involved and participate in that. Don't forget to follow PPG on Facebook and Twitter, and of course you can always get great information on our website, ppgbuffalo.org. The Public Good is sponsored in part by Univera Healthcare, real people who really care. You can watch videos from The Public Good, including our 3-minute highlight videos, on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. A few quick announcements before we get started with Bernadette. This Friday at 11 a.m., our city, Buffalo, will be holding a subsidy tour. It's going to start down at 1 Canal Side at 11 a.m. this Friday. It will be a bus tour to understand better how our tax dollars are being spent. The tour will highlight the abuses of the city's 485 tax exemption program that's been reported on recently by the Public Accountability Initiative and the Buffalo News. It will also include examples of community-driven development that should be better funded from our public dollars and supported by our elected officials. So that is the Our City Public Subsidy Tour this Friday, 9 a.m., leaving from 1 Canal Side, free and open to the public. Starting this Wednesday, next Wednesday, November 14th, Preservation Buffalo Niagara will be having homeowners tax credit drop-in workshop. It'll be the second Wednesday of every month at the Preservation Buffalo Niagara offices at 617 Main Street. It's a chance to learn about the New York State Historic Homeowner Tax Credit Program and how you can benefit from it. You can even bring in your application with questions if you're already working on applying for that tax credit. The drop-in workshop is $10 for the general public, but it's free for Preservation Buffalo Niagara members. Pre-registration is not required, but appreciated. You can call 852-3300, 852-3300 to talk to Preservation Buffalo Niagara about their homeowners tax credit drop-in workshop every second Wednesday of the month at Preservation Buffalo Niagara. First one will be Wednesday, November 14th at 6 p.m. And lastly, I want to let you know that PPG and the Buffalo branch of the NAACP and some other partners are sponsoring a forum on voting rights. Very timely topic today. Forum on voter rights is going to be November 28th at 7 p.m. at Westminster Presbyterian Church on Delaware Avenue. It's free and open to the public. You're going to learn about New York State's outdated voting laws that actually discourage voting and deny many citizens the freedom to vote. We're going to have Susan Lerner. She's the executive director of Common Cause New York. It's going to come in from New York City to talk about common sense solutions needed to protect and expand the freedom to vote. And if you hear of folks having trouble voting today, be sure to come to that voting rights forum and report out on that. Common Cause is collecting stories of people where there are delays in voting or there are glitches or any issues that you experience today or you hear about people experiencing. We want to know about them, so show up at the Voting Rights Forum, November 28th, Westminster Church. You can get more information about that on our website, ppgbuffalo.org. All right, with that, I want to welcome our friend, Open Buffalo Democracy Fellow Bernadette Giles to The Public Good. Bernadette, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
You've been working on a really interesting project, I know, for many months now, and it seems like it's just getting ready to launch.
Yes.
So tell us about the Inner Star project.
So the Inner Star project is an 18-hour, 6-week program that is designed to empower women to be confident and fearless, and also work on that job readiness piece, like strengthening and elevating ourselves through self-assurance so that then we can take that next step in acquiring a job or possibly looking for a promotion within a job. So what we look to establish is a network of women that not only can look to each other, but look within themselves and kind of dismiss those untruths that we have told ourselves over and over again. So InnerStar in itself is broken up into 3 segments in which, like, first there's like this network, or some point there's like a networking. So to allow the women a safe space just to kind of engage with each other, because we know as we're looking for jobs, we need to learn how to small talk, or they tell you about these elevator speeches, and a lot of times we don't know what that means. And then learning other people's strengths, like there might be something that you may find and develop that network. And then there's the building block, which is where that is structured and has structured activities in which we concentrate on what pieces of confidence one may be lacking, or stories that we told ourselves and why we can't go after that job, or truly find our purpose and what we want to do. Especially since so many women, like 70%, and I'm pretty sure I got this off of PPG, of women and children, single parents in Erie County actually make up the homeless rate. So tapping into like what is causing that, because the narrative isn't just the lack of jobs, it's the lack of having access, and also the lack of confidence in I want that opportunity. I want to connect with that. So we are launching a pilot program with Open Buffalo sponsored, with my own business, BU Fully Dressed, and Catholic Charities gave us a space where we can open up the 6-week program and actually see how this can work and develop. And I've taken it a step back. The third piece of the segment is actually the breakout session, where we intensely look at where a person is at in workforce readiness, like whether it's interview coaching, resume building, locating and applying for a job employment, or coaching to that next level. If you're like, hey, I got this job, but I know I really want to be at this one, but I don't know how to ask, or negotiating salary as well.
So this is aimed at people looking for jobs, but they might be people who are unemployed right now, or they might be people who are in a job but are looking to take it to the next level, get a promotion where they are now, or look for something different.
Right, exactly. So just creating like that workforce development system that increases our access to higher paying jobs and improve like economic opportunities for women specifically. So it is specific to women currently, as I think like sometimes we need that safe space to kind of, like I said, kind of debunk the untruths that we may have told ourselves, or that was told to us, and that hinder us, but also a safe place where we can engage and incorporate how working in some of these work environments affect us, and how we can navigate through that as well.
Well, certainly the statistics show that women are paid less for doing the same jobs, and that women still don't have access to a lot of the higher paying jobs and the executive positions in Western New York. So very important and timely work that you're doing, for sure. Tell us a little bit about kind of how you got inspired to create InnerStar. So
my inspiration kind of is a twofold. So I had been freelancing as dressing people or changing their wardrobe, people that professionals that just wanted to change their style,
get a new look.
Get a new look. And a lot of times they would donate what they have, so I have and so then we kind of, myself and a few close friends and relatives, would go through it, see if anybody needed it. And then I thought we have a lot of consignments, and we have a lot of places that we can go, and sometimes navigating through that can be a little challenging when we're looking just for professional style, and how to incorporate yourself in that look. Sometimes we think that we have to be a certain way in order to get a job too, and it makes you feel uncomfortable when you go into these interviews, and it doesn't reflect the true you. You can't be you authentically if you don't feel like you authentically. So navigating through that was like my first step. And then I lost my job. I was laid off from a job that I adored, that was like everything. And as I began to navigate through like the unemployment process, I thought, what about my sisters that are having the same experience, but may not have access to a car, may not have access to a computer, or know how to navigate through online. Everyone is going into like applications online and navigate through that, but don't want to ask for help, or just like think they're doing it, but would like to know if they're doing it correctly. Right. And I thought about how frustrating it was for me, even though I felt like I was experienced, and how much more frustrating that may be for somebody else. And why can't we share that together and coach each other and help each other? I also was afforded the opportunity to go through a life coach experience, which is quite expensive, and it was gifted to me. So I thought, like, wouldn't it be great to give some of this gift back to those that really can benefit from it? Because if you can pay for a life coach, that's great. But if you can't, you kind of lose. It does us a disservice that some of the ones that need it, some of us that need it the most, is disconnected from that quality of, yes, you are worthy of everything that you want to be.
You're listening to The Public Good here on WUFO. Our guest today is Bernadette Giles. She is launching a new project called Inner Star, a women's professional style development center, and we're learning about that. Bernadette, for folks listening who are interested themselves or know someone who might be interested, what's the best way for them to learn more and get involved?
So contacting Catholic Charities at their 1001 East Delavan location is one way. We have a telephone number that they can reach. It's through the business, BU Fully Dressed, and that is 716-906-2992. Also, BU Fully Dressed at Gmail. We do have a Facebook event that I can share with PPG as well. And we also should be soon posted on a few other sites, but even if they want to reach out to me directly, Facebook, Twitter, Bernadette Giles, feel free. But we're taking drop-ins. Of course, seats may be limited due to the space. So if someone just want to show up, again, we are launching this on next Tuesday, November 13th. It will be ongoing for about 6 weeks, 1 to 3:30.
1 to 3:30 p.m.?
1 to 3:30 p.m., yes.
And the first day is Tuesday, November 13th?
And it'll be every Tuesday thereafter until December 18th. And then that will be located at 1001 East Delavan, which is the Catholic Charities Workforce and Education Development Center, the new location.
Great. So it's a 12-week program.
6-week
program. 6-week program. Folks are encouraged to do the whole thing, but if they can't make them all, they're welcome to come for as many sessions as they can make it.
Exactly.
Great.
And food will be provided.
Food will be provided. That's good to know.
Yes.
First session, Tuesday, November 13th, 1 p.m. at Catholic Charities, 1001 East Delavan. And folks can get more information from BU Fully Dressed. Find you on social media or call 906-2992. Did I get that right? 906-2992 if you want more information about Inner Star from Bernadette Giles. So Bernadette, it's fascinating to hear about some of your inspiration in creating this. Tell us a little bit about some of these component parts of the program. So you mentioned that there's a networking component, there's a component to sort of assess where folks are in their kind of job or in their career pipeline. So tell us a little bit more, in detail about kind of what you anticipate doing with the participants.
So, I'll just take you through a quick, say the first day. So initially, what we would like to do is to be able to really see where people are at. So we call it our mixer. So kind of like speed dating, let's say. You'll be given a platform 2 minutes and you have questions of interviewing. But we get to engage with each other and see, I'm just going to ask you for a couple seconds. a few questions and gain information from you, and then we'll go from person to person, and at the end develop like, what did you gain from each person, what did you learn about that person, what do you even remember about that person, and then independently conduct interviews individually with myself and my assistant to gauge them where they are like right now in the interview process. If they have resumes, they are free to bring them, but if they want to learn how to write them or recreate them, we have templates on that as well. Nice. Catholic Charities have been gracious enough to also let us develop with their staff. So we have a job developer through Catholic Charities that will assist us navigate through like what positions are open, where what you may connect to as far as your career dreams.
So you talked a little bit about how sort of personal style and clothes and appearance enter into this, but I'd love to hear you talk a little more about that piece of it.
Oh, that's my favorite piece. So we also incorporate on a few different occasions, like how not just, so some people think that they can't, or have this misconception that they can't strive for certain positions, and not just because of education, but they feel like, I can't afford to dress for this part. And I know firsthand that if you go down to DSS, the first place that they suggest is Amvex, which is great. But when you walk in, it is a lot to navigate through. And if I'm already overwhelmed, cannot designate that time, I guess in our essence, we take that guesswork out of it. And we try to create what you feel comfortable in, and also pieces that you may already have. Like we have this one day in which that's what we focus on. So it's a game of win it to win it, so to speak. So there's only a set amount of pieces, and each participant will have a minute to 2 minutes to actually create a whole new look out of the pieces that we have displayed. And then we just kind of go through that and why they created this, or if they couldn't use their imagination, and what would work in different environments, different weather conditions, and how you can layer up and just change the whole look in minimum amount of clothing, and where to find these, where are the best deals, and how we can be of assistance in that, in literally taking you step by step through the professional styling. Like we will navigate you through that, style you, and then incorporate, all for free. So the more participants show up, at the end of this, they will be able to be professionally styled. And it is through gently worn professional clothes, but to learn like that this can be affordable and still keep true to yourself and still be able to show up to work.
So on the one hand, the work you're doing, it's very individualized. It's really about meeting people where they're at and helping them get to the next level and working on their personal style. On the other hand, it's a program empowering women, and it seems like really there's an equal justice component, a social justice component. So tell us a little more about that. I mean, you mentioned the messages that people get that tell them they're not worthy and things like that. So frame it for us as a social justice issue as well.
Well, definitely. I mean, in the city of Buffalo, like I said, like there are so many ways that women, like you already pointed out, that we don't have equal pay. We sometimes show up to that job that might have a masculine platform or a masculine description about it, and our fears of ourselves, or even that they will not hire us, or they don't hire us because we are female, and kind of taking that and forcing ourselves in that you don't have a me here, and that I belong here, and not only do I belong here, I deserve to be paid my worth. So forcing that platform of like the only way we can be just is if we truly tear down the racial justice and the biases that exist already that we pretend are not really there, and that we mask for other things, and having the confidence to say like, I deserve this, and you're going to give, and demanding that, and saying, I am present, I am qualified, give me what I am due. So I think like instilling that piece and promoting that piece, so that when we get a door closed, we're not just like, oh no, they said no, and that's just the way they do. Like dismissing that they. Like, no, I am here. I want to be interviewed because I am qualified for this and I can do a good job and I want to be paid my worth.
Yeah. So you talked about some of the sort of messages that society sends women about this. What about women of color? What are some of the extra layers that women of color face in navigating the job market and doing the kind of self-development that you're working on?
Right. So, and we have some pieces and some components of that as well. But as we know, like the stereotype of being assertive and being a black woman and instantly being that angry black woman, right? And dismissing that narrative, or even just that black women not only have the layer of getting paid less because they're female, but we get paid less because we're black and female. So almost being that lowest of the totem pole, and although like statistically they're saying how we're making it in the market, like our presence is being known, but our presence isn't being known as much on the pay scale of things. So we may be able to edge in, but we're getting like this entry level pay, but having the same qualifications as a male or as even our counterpart white females that might get the same job. So definitely creating that platform of how do we work in homogeneous environments and what that looked like and the stresses that it put on us as a people, because sometimes we don't realize what we take home or what we leave with, or even how we already come in to present ourselves, whether it's passive or aggressive. We think that we're supposed to be a certain way, but just learning that we as people need to learn people, like true cultural awareness, and that like because we are the lowest paid currently, that we need to change that narrative. Like economic justice isn't just about, these mediums that we put out there, like, oh, Buffalo has like this medium salary right now. Let's break that down a little further and find out who's making that money to make that look like that.
Right, absolutely. And if folks are interested in the data on that, you can go on our website and look for our Working Toward Equality reports. We've done 2 of them on race and employment in the Buffalo region, and you can find lots and lots of data about those issues there. So Bernadette, you developed this project as an Open Buffalo Democracy Fellow. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that program and some of the learnings that you've had from that over this past year.
So Democracy Fellow has been the biggest and best eye-opening experience. One, to be able to fellowship with my cohort and be able to engage and open our eyes to all the injustice. I have my platform, and obviously I'm passionate about that, and I think okay, this is it. But to hear the other narratives that are presented and being able to learn truly that really they're woven together, because if we want a just society, then we have to battle every injustice, and there's going to be people to do our part, and we got to support each other. And even specifically on this topic, almost being able to take that step back and see, originally I thought, I'm just going full force. I am going to develop this center. This is what it's going to do. And being able to have a team and mentors that kind of break that down and say, hey, take a step back and look at, what can you do right now? How can you be effective in your community and give something right now? And then let's build upon that. Originally, I thought that BU Fully Dressed was just going to be this center. We were going to do this and we were going to do that. And they're like, hey, let's just, let's see what work can we do, because there's a lot of work to do, and that will come. But let's work on not just the dream, but dreams are best when they are reality in motion, right? So what can we do right now? And having that support, like I said, and that mentorship, and even just someone saying I believe in this, that we need these type of changes. We need to connect. We need to create an economic justice society. We need to just create a just society, right? So to be able to have all that, and then they inject you with these workshops that kind of again is the next step, so you learn something every time, from storytelling. I literally built that into my curriculum after, and really learning that advocacy happens everywhere, and there is an opportunity to advocate and to empower and to challenge and to change our system, and we just got to figure out every step where we can inject that at.
Yeah, wow, great description. So we've been talking with Bernadette Giles about her Inner Star project that is coming up. She's developed that as an Open Buffalo Democracy Fellow, and you can get more information about Open Buffalo's Emerging Leaders and Democracy Fellow programs on their website, openbuffalo.org. Bernadette, we are running short of time, so if you just want to let people know again the details of the upcoming Inner Star events and how they can get involved, that would be great.
All right, thank you. So Inner Star workshops will run November 13th through December 18th, every Tuesday, 1 to 3:30 at the Catholic Charities Workforce Development Center, located at 1001 East Delavan in Buffalo, New York. And if you need to contact myself, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram, but directly you can telephone at 716-906-2992 for more information.
All right, fantastic. Well, Bernadette, thanks so much for being on the show, and best of luck with Inner Star. I know it's going to be a big success and wonderful project, so thanks for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Next week on The Public Good, we'll be talking with Megan Maloney de Zaldivar. She'll be telling us about the Our City Coalition and talking about the Anti-Gentrification Summit, which is taking place Tuesday, November 13th. Our show will be Tuesday, November 13th. The Anti-Gentrification Summit is Saturday, November 17th at 10 a.m. But Megan Maloney de Zaldivar will be talking with us about it on The Public Good next week. It's The Public Good every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Power 96.5 FM and Mix 1080 AM. Thank you.